You know, when you watch players interviewing each other, right? You always kind of have a smile on your face because they get to speak about things that maybe other people are not used to. How did the coach Mikael evolve? Because I know you now for a while, and I noticed that there has been things that you cared about in general, you know, as to how you want to work with players and how you would like to also your team to identify with the direction that you have, and that for me was not irrelevant. So I'm curious. Maybe the people here are also curious to know how did Mikael evolve over the years.
And you know, since I've never been a professional player. You know,
Yeah.
I started really young, you know, like a coach, and you know, like I managed my first team when I was 14 years old.
Sure.
And you know,
14.
14, yeah, I was a teenager. So when my friends came home from the nightclubs or with some parties, and I went to for the football trainings,
Yes.
soccer trainings.
Yeah.
Quite strange, but that's reality. I took step by step in Sweden, and finally I reached the first team, assistant coach like in the first team in AIK Stockholm.
Yeah.
One of the biggest clubs in Sweden and in Scandinavia actually. Then I took over the satellite club Väsby,
Yes.
and we did well there.
From the third to the second to the
Yeah,
first.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then 2009 I took over like the head coach in AIK.
All right.
It was a fantastic moment for me. Great season, one of the best seasons in the club's history actually. And then I was a little bit naive. I went to Greece,
Yes.
but it was for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. You know, I came there, you know, by myself. You know,
Sure.
totally alone, without any staff member.
Sure.
And it was hard, but I liked it. It was fantastic.
Sure.
It was my first job abroad.
Right.
So of course I got sucked like all coaches in Greece. Quite poor performance actually.
Sure.
Then I went back to Sweden.
Yeah.
3 years in Gothenburg.
Yeah.
The greatest rival to AIK actually. So
Oh, really?
I'm a Judas there in Solna in AIK. And then 1.5 season in China in Dalian.
Yes.
Was also a fantastic experience for me.
Yeah. Huge club, huge country.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, almost like the US. You know, it's a big country. You know,
Yes,
lots of
yes.
traveling and but it was a great challenge, but also a fantastic opportunity for me to manage other culture and so on. So.
You know, the thing that most struck me, or struck me is maybe the wrong word, but that I really appreciated is, you know, when I came here, I wanted to understand the club and the people and listen, etc. And when we got to work with each other, I got really the impression as if you identified with staff members, with players, with Chris, with Alex, with Steve, with all of them, yeah? And, you know, China is obviously a different market, with a different football, less evolved compared to MLS. But as you take on this new opportunity here, you know, I think one of the things that I cared about most or noticed is that you care about the people and the club in which you work for. And how big is that? Does that play a role with the coaching staff and the players, some of which we have met already, as we take on the new season?
You know, I'm the head coach,
Yeah.
obviously, but for me, I'm a team player.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really important to work close to the GM. You're my boss, but we must work so close to each other.
Yeah.
And I felt that direct when you called me for this job now, and you know that I think it's a great match, and I think we can work together in a proper way. And same for me with the coaching stuff. That all of us need to accept a role.
Yes.
Have different kind of qualities.
Yes.
I have some quality for sure.
Yes.
Hopefully, but also that I'm good to put other guys in the right position.
Sure.
And that's my strong point. I think I'm quite good to manage people.
Yeah.
And then we must have a nice style of playing and put the right player in the right position.
Sure,
blah blah blah. But I think that's my strength.
It is. Yeah. Another thing that I was thinking about, when we started here in San Jose last year, or this past season, a lot was talked about, game identity, tactics, etc. And you too have evolved as a coach over the years that I learned to appreciate. While we don't want to give to any of our opponents the opportunity to understand how we want to play, we would like to actually, give a little bit more insight. We're not a club that likes to park the bus in front of the box, but we are a club that understands that a certain amount of organization is important, and staying true and coherent with the direction that you want to go. That is something that I really felt, and maybe even the players I spoke to that used to work with you said they were able to follow you. So how has it evolved, and what direction do you want to go?
First of all, that I must be humble. That of course, I watched so many games with San Jose, and talked with you about the place and about the roster. But for me, it's really important to get started. To practice with the team, and then of course I have some tactical rules, of course, in possession and out of possession for sure. But for me, it's really important to be flexible. Yeah. And so I can put the players in the right position. And of course we have to attack in a proper way with lots of energy and to score lots of goals, of course. But also we have to be organized and aggressive.
Yes.
Out of possession and defend the goal in a proper way.
Sure.
So I think for me it's really important to combine this.
Yes.
We can't park the bus.
Yes.
That's not the identity of the club. So, but I think we have to defend in a proper way, and we need to attack in a proper way.
Yes.
So, quite boring answer, but
no, but it's
for me
true.
it's really important. And about the formation, I've used to play 4-4-2 with quite straight lines, but also more like 4-2-3-1 and sometimes 4-4-1 and also 4-2-3 and 3-4-3. So I'm for example, when I managed Häcken, we in the beginning of the season we used 4-2-3-1 and
yes.
and then we end up in some sort of 3-4-3.
Yes.
So it's a process.
Yes. I can't stop thinking about football. Yeah. And I just noticed that I'm not alone. Getting to know you. My wife, in fact, she tells me I have 11 little men running around my head all the time.
I have 25.
You have 25. You always beat us, yeah. So it's very difficult. But the fact of the matter is that I wanted to ask you a question. In football, it's kind of funny. We teach strikers to have to defend and press, and at the same time, we tell defenders that they have to learn how to attack. And the question I have is, what is easier for a coach?
I think the easiest one is for the defenders to play the ball.
Right.
To play the ball in a proper way and have confidence to play. Yes. I think so we can play from behind and so on. That's quite stupid.
No, but the reality is, look, it seems like upside down, right? It seems upside down. You're trying. Obviously, in football we say the first line has to press, has to defend, and we're saying to the defenders that they have to actually attack and they have to build up from the back, and the same with goalkeepers. So, you know, this was just a question that I asked myself, you know, when I have these 11 little men running around in my head, and so I was curious to see what your take was on it. That's all. Yeah. Let me see. I thought that was a good question. Okay. All right, yes. So let's talk history. When I first got to San Jose, I realized that this club has a lot of history. Whether it's George Best back in the day filling the stadium, or whether it is us kicking the very first ball when MLS opened up. And there's a lot about passion that goes into this club, and roots. And the fact of the matter is that we have, I thought I was crazy, you know, until I walked into this club and realized that I met Crazy George, who is one of our most important guys here. Crazy George is our, well, symbol of the club, yeah? And he has been accompanying thousands of fans, you know, for dozens of years, and cheering earthquakes. And I wanted to ask you, because I love this game, and I love what I get to do, and I wanted to ask you, what makes you excited about coaching? Because you have a passion for this game that I have seen in a few people.
First of all, to win games.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
Win game. I think it's a fantastic feeling.
Yes.
And that's why I'm doing this.
Yes.
You know, of course, you know, it's fantastic for me to, for example, to visit new places and new countries and so on. But win games is fantastic.
Sure.
But of course, to also to manage, you know, young players, to develop player, for me, it's also a fantastic thing that get a group together, you know, get united, you know, no matter if you're from Sweden or Spain or US or Russia.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. And also in China, for example, I felt that, you know, it's an amazing thing that when you, after a victory in a locker room, you know, even with a small Chinese, that's, you know, so it's fantastic. So to win games, that's a fantastic feeling, and hopefully we can do that here also in San Jose.
Yes. So we're overlooking the stadium, and that was actually the last question I had. A question, more than a question, I think that it's just an opportunity for the people to get to connect with Mikael. As you looked at the stadium the first time when we were sitting up in the box, what kind of impressions, feelings, what kind of things did you maybe tell your wife when you called her and said, hey, I just landed in San Jose and I saw the stadium? What feelings went through your mind?
This is a real soccer team.
Nice.
Soccer club. You know, fantastic stadium, great environment, nice driven people around.
Yes.
So I think we can have a fantastic season, but of course we have to work so hard, and you know, we have plenty to do.
Yes, we do.
But great setup around, and no, I'm so excited, but and also really proud to be a part of this club.
Awesome. Let's do it.